KitBash just bought ArtStation and Sketchfab from Epic, Autodesk kills Mudbox after 6 years of non-development, and Blender is running on a tablet. It's Motion Mondays. Let's get into it. Adobe Illustrator's built-in Swatch library has needed a refresh for roughly a decade now, and the 2026 beta finally delivered one. New pattern categories cover geometric styles, botanical textures, dithered patterns, and hatching, with more beyond that. New gradient categories add holographic, metallic, and pastel presets along with others. Legacy swatches are still there under a classic section. The dithered patterns in particular give you that really cool old school video game texture vibe, which is totally in right now. And there's also an auto find missing links feature in the beta, which is a really great quality of life feature. So if you want to check everything out, you can go and download the latest Illustrator beta. Ornatrix has been a strong alternative to Cinema 4D's built-in hair system since it arrived in 2020, and version 4 brings the Cinema 4D edition to parity with the 3D Studio Max and Maya versions. Warp Roots is the big standout addition that lets you procedurally bunch or spread strand root positions for feathers and patchy fur. A new length operator extends curve strands for more controlled growth, and brush texture lets you paint decal patterns directly onto hair in the viewport for stylized looks without leaving Cinema 4D. The clump modifier now has a procedural braid generation built in. Render support covers Arnold, Corona, and Redshift natively. Alembic import and export is included, so if you do a lot of character work that needs hair, you should definitely check this out. Or, you could be like me and just stick a hat on it. Now into some School of Motion news. If you haven't grabbed Type Chopper yet, you need to get to the chopper. And that's my best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Well, it's an extension that allows you to take your After Effects type and break it into a full animation setup. You can split by letters, words, or lines, set your stagger, and start animating immediately without manually splitting anything. It's free. Find the link in the description. Now, if you want to keep up with everything coming from us, our Coming Soon page is where all the course announcements and event updates live. Go ahead and bookmark it. Our next one for All Access members is going to be a live office hours on August 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Bring your technical questions, your course questions, or just show up and hang out. Our TAs and staff will be there. And we are closing in on 5,000 students. And I'm told Joey's preparing a 24-hour karaoke live stream for the occasion. We've not confirmed this, but I feel like that's the right call. Autodesk is shutting down Mudbox, RIP. Sales for the 3-year subscriptions ended August 7th, and monthly and annual sales end November 7th. If you've had an active subscription on August 7th, you actually get a free 5-year Mudbox 2027 license with those first 3 years including security fixes. After that, there's no new features and no new bug fixes. Now, the short version of why, well, Mudbox really hasn't had a meaningful update since about 2019. You have ZBrush going to the iPad, you have Blender sculpting tools catching up, and Mudbox, well, they just kind of kept collecting subscriptions. Now, this is the end of an era to a tool that was created for Lord of the Rings and played a part in a lot of Hollywood films. But if Mudbox was part of your pipeline, definitely check out ZBrush for iPad. They have a limited free version you can try out. Again, Blender sculpting tools, legit competition, and Nomad Sculpt on the iPad is also worth a look if you like that layer-based approach. Exporting an animated Maya rig into Blender without losing everything usually means a very slow trip through FBX export settings and kind of crossing your fingers. Well, MableLink is a Maya plugin by Mohammed Ragheb that skips all of that. It sends complete animated scenes directly to Blender or Unreal with rigs, animations, and blend shapes intact. Cameras, lights, and PBR textures transfer too. There's a live resync, so changes in Maya update downstream without re-exporting the whole thing. Now, the free tier gives you 20 cents to each app. The pro tier is unlimited cents plus update sync, so it's sold as a one-time license and is compatible with Maya, Blender, and Unreal Engine. Now, if you're on Cinema 4D instead of Maya, just want to let you know there's also a C4D to Blender export-import script on SuperHive that you can check out. Links to both things will be in the description. Now onto some cool work from around the interwebs. First up, a Calvin and Hobbes opening sequence by a couple of RMIT students, and the assignment was to create a hypothetical opening for a non-existent children's TV series based on a book or a comic. They chose Calvin and Hobbes. Now you can see the 2D execution is so clean, it's so slick, and if you grew up reading those comic strips in the newspaper back in the day, this is going to hit you right in your feels. Next, Corduroy Frames spent 5 years recreating the Beastie Boys' Sabotage music video. All 4,340 frames are hand animated from physical materials. Cardstock, foam, and cardboard handle most of it, with tinfoil and cotton balls filling in the rest. There's no AI detected either, and it's pretty incredible the commitment to the craft. 5 years. That's an epic music video. And finally, Robin Lockman dropped a new CGI showreel. It's moody, cinematic, with tactile creature and character designs built across a full traditional pipeline. You got Cinema 4D and Octane for the renders, ZBrush and Substance Painter for sculpt and texture, plus mix in Marvelous Designer, Rococo, and more on top of that. And no AI. It's actually a really good reminder of what a single generalist can do on their own. If you ever wished After Effects had a command palette where you just type something and it just runs, well, Command Frame is it. This free plugin by Scott Black opens a floating interface where you can search and apply effects, jump to any layer or composition by name, and run scripts or panel commands without navigating menus. Now, the bigger feature is chaining. You can string multiple actions into one reusable command. You can type fill orange and scale 50, and both things happen on the selected layer. Assign any chain command to a keyboard shortcut, and it runs without opening the interface at all. Now, this is a pretty dope plugin. If you want to check it out, link will be in the description. Tunnel Monster is a browser-based tool from motion designer Chris Manfrey that generates animated tunnel loop patterns you can configure and export straight into After Effects or Premiere. You can set the pattern, colors, and motion in the browser, then you download it and just drop it right into your comp. The base version is pay what you want. Pro adds irregular grid patterns for less mechanical looks, plus gradient support and curated special effects presets. Export goes up to 4K, and it also guarantees seamless loops, though it doesn't guarantee it won't hypnotize you into thinking you're ChatGPT in the flesh, which I am. Now on to this week's student spotlight, who is Bhagyashree Jain, a motion designer from Boston. She took Animation Bootcamp, and her submission for the class assignment, a piece called Eyes Go Here, is a study in visual hierarchy done really well. So the idea is to lead the viewer's eye exactly where you want it. You can see that she does that really well through color, timing, and composition, and you can see how all those things are kind of pulling in that same direction. The work's super clean, and so is her portfolio site. You can find out more of her work at her website. We're going to throw the link to that in the description, and congrats on that feature. VFX Toolkit is a Blender asset pack from Casey Sheep built specifically for animated VFX. You got anime swooshes, trail effects, and impacts. They're all in there and manageable from a single panel, so you're not digging through node trees every single time you want to tweak anything. Now, it launches with about 100 presets, and the roadmap is 500 plus, and the bundle currently includes 270 plus VDBs for smoke, fire, and explosions. Now, the VDBs are cycles only though, and decompressed to over 150 gigabytes, so check your hard drives before buying there. It's on SuperHive for $49 for the base or $67 for the full bundle. It's 25% off right now though. Link will be in the description. The Blender Foundation posted a 23-second teaser showing Blender running on an Android tablet with stylus input, specifically showing off grease pencil work, and it's looking pretty awesome. Now, this is the official Foundation project, not a third-party thing. Blender initially announced the Beyond Mouse and Keyboard initiative back in mid-2025, originally targeting a Blender for iPad version first. But unfortunately, earlier this year, the iPad work went on hold because they couldn't get enough funding, so Android became the priority instead. The Foundation is now calling for community GPU feedback, so if you have an Android tablet, you can head over to the Blender Dev Talk forum to weigh in. Epic Games bought ArtStation back in 2021 and Sketchfab shortly after. Now, they're selling both to KitBash, the company behind KitBash 3D, and Grayscale Gorilla. Epic says the reasoning is a focus shift to Unreal Engine 6, Fortnite, and the Epic Games Store. And KitBash framed the acquisition as building a connective creative ecosystem. Both companies say nothing changes immediately. Your portfolio, subscriptions, and pricing stay the same, and artists retain IP ownership. Now, KitBash already controls KitBash 3D for production-ready 3D assets and Grayscale Gorilla for materials and Cinema 4D tools. Now they add ArtStation, the industry's leading portfolio platform, and job board, and Sketchfab, the web-based 3D viewer most artists use to share and publish work online. Now, that's a huge chunk of the infrastructure that 3D artists use every single day. Now, to me, the most interesting part of this is the Sketchfab piece. It's a web-based viewer that lets you interactively preview 3D models in a browser before you download it. Now, I could see KitBash using that to let customers preview all the KitBash 3D models and apply, grayscale gorilla materials onto it before they ever download a thing. But the big conversation the community seems to be having right now is about ArtStation and its AI art policy. Now, a lot of artists left that platform over the past couple years over what they thought was insufficient action against AI-generated work. Now, ArtStation, all these brands kind of posted after the acquisition, acknowledging they're listening to the artists and that they definitely have trust to earn. So we'll see how this all shakes out soon enough. And that is it for Motion Mondays this week. Remember, Type Chopper for After Effects is free and the link is in the description, along with every other story we covered today. And remember, All Access members, our live office hours are August 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Come with your questions. And thank you all so much for watching. See you next week.